PlayStation 2, the king of consoles. No discussion of PlayStation's impact can begin anywhere but with the PlayStation 2. Released in 2000, the PS2 remains the best-selling video game console of all time, with over 155 million units sold worldwide. But its true impact lies not only in sales, but in how it bridged generations of gamers, transformed the home entertainment market, and set an industry standard. The PS2 arrived at a crucial moment, when DVDs were becoming the dominant media format. Sony cleverly designed the PS2 as not just a gaming device, but also an affordable DVD player, making it a must-have for households. This decision significantly boosted its adoption rate and helped normalize the idea of consoles as multimedia hubs rather than mere toys. In terms of gaming, the PS2 had one of the most legendary libraries ever assembled. Titles like Grand Theft Auto 3, Shadow of the Colossus, Metal Gear, Solid 2, Final Fantasy X, and God of War redefined genres and expanded the artistic potential of the medium. Developers embraced the console's capabilities to deliver ambitious, sprawling worlds. For many players, the PS2 was not just a machine, it was their gateway to immersive storytelling. The console's lifespan was remarkable, remaining supported for more than a decade, long after its successor arrived. Its influence was so profound that it shaped the very definition of mainstream gaming, ensuring that Sony's dominance in the industry would continue well into the 21st century. PlayStation, the industry disruptor. Before the PS2 became king, the original PlayStation rewrote the rules of gaming. Released in 1994 in Japan and 1995 worldwide, the PlayStation was born out of a failed partnership with Nintendo. What began as a side project turned into a revolution. The PS1 broke free of the toy-like image of consoles, marketing itself as a sleek, mature device. Sony targeted young adults with edgy advertising campaigns, presenting gaming as a lifestyle rather than just child's play. This rebranding elevated the cultural perception of video games, making them mainstream in ways that Sega and Nintendo had not. The PlayStation also championed CD-ROMs over cartridges. This decision lowered production costs, allowed for greater storage, and opened the door for cinematic storytelling, high-quality audio, and full-motion video. The result was a flood of new genres and experimental designs. Games like Resident Evil, Final Fantasy VII, Gran Turismo, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater defined the era. Developers were no longer constrained by the limitations of cartridges, and creativity flourished. By selling over 100 million units, the PlayStation firmly established Sony as a permanent rival to Nintendo and Sega. More importantly, it set the tone for gaming in the 3D era. Without the PlayStation, gaming might have remained a niche hobby. With it, gaming became a cultural pillar. PlayStation 4 Redemption and Reinvention. When the PlayStation 4 launched in 2013, Sony was reeling from the troubled launch of the PS3. Microsoft appeared poised to dominate with the Xbox One, but a series of missteps by its competitor gave Sony the opportunity to reassert itself. The PS4 became one of the most successful consoles ever, not only in sales but in redefining what a modern console should be. The PS4's impact lies in its clarity of vision. Sony marketed the console as a system for gamers first and foremost, avoiding the multimedia confusion that plagued its predecessor. Its hardware design was developer-friendly, allowing studios to easily harness its power. This resulted in a consistent stream of high-quality exclusives such as Bloodborne, God of War, 2018, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4, and Spider-Man. Beyond games, the PS4 revolutionized community engagement. Features like the share button allowed players to instantly broadcast gameplay and connect with audiences worldwide. This integration with streaming and social platforms cemented gaming's role in the broader entertainment landscape. By selling over 117 million units, the PS4 revitalized Sony's reputation, proved that single-player narratives could still thrive, and shaped the current ecosystem of connected, socially integrated gaming. PlayStation Portable, PSP, Ambition on the Go released in 2004, the PlayStation Portable was Sony's first foray into handheld gaming. While it did not dethrone Nintendo's Game Boy or DS, the PSP made a significant cultural impact by proving that handheld devices could deliver console-quality experiences. The PSP boasted a beautiful widescreen display, impressive 3D graphics, and multimedia features such as movie playback and music storage. It was marketed as more than just a handheld. It was a portable entertainment center. For many players, it was their first introduction to mobile gaming that felt on par with what they experienced at home. Games like God of War, Chains of Olympus, Monster Hunter, Freedom Unite, and Crisis Core. Final Fantasy VII demonstrated the potential of handhelds to deliver epic experiences. In Japan especially, the PSP became a cultural phenomenon, thanks to the popularity of multiplayer hunting games that encouraged local cooperative play. Although eventually overshadowed by smartphones and the rise of mobile gaming, the PSP's ambition left an undeniable mark. It paved the way for handhelds that took gaming seriously and proved Sony could compete in new arenas. PlayStation 3, a rocky start, a strong finish. The PlayStation 3, launched in 2006, is often remembered for its rocky debut. Its high launch price, confusing marketing, and initially limited library created skepticism. Sony's insistence on Blu-ray adoption, while eventually prescient, initially slowed mass adoption. Yet over time, the PS3 turned things around. With exclusives like The Last of Us, Uncharted 2, Metal Gear Solid 4, and Little Big Planet, the console carved out a strong identity. Its support for Blu-ray eventually positioned it as a dominant home entertainment system. Its cell processor, though notoriously complex, pushed developers to innovate in technical performance. Perhaps the PS3's most lasting impact was the growth of PlayStation Network. Online play, digital downloads, and the introduction of PlayStation Plus laid the groundwork for the modern one digital ecosystem that defines gaming today. While its sales lagged behind the PS2 and Wii, the PS3 fought its way to respectability, ultimately selling over 87 million units and solidifying Sony's resilience. PlayStation 5, the present and the future. The PlayStation 5, launched in 2020, is still writing its story. Its impact, however, is already clear. Amid a global pandemic, supply shortages, and shifting industry dynamics, the PS5 managed to become one of the fastest-selling consoles ever. The PS5's emphasis on speed with its custom SSD has transformed expectations of loading times. Its DualSense controller, with adaptive triggers and haptic feedback, has redefined immersion in gameplay. Titles like Demon's Souls Remake, Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, and Spider-Man. Miles Morales showcase its capabilities, while the future promises even greater leaps. Culturally, the PS5 exists in a more fragmented ecosystem, where cloud gaming, PC ports, and cross-platform experiences are increasingly common. Its ultimate legacy will depend on how it navigates these shifts, but its early impact suggests it is continuing Sony's tradition of leading the industry in both innovation and in cultural relevance. PlayStation Vita, a brilliant failure. The PlayStation Vita, released in 2011, is perhaps Sony's most beloved failure. Technically brilliant with a gorgeous OLED screen, powerful hardware, and innovative touch controls, the Vita should have been a massive success. Yet it struggled to find its audience. High development costs, lack of third-party support, and competition from smartphones limited its reach. Despite this, the Vita earned a devoted fanbase, particularly among indie developers, who found in it a welcoming platform. Games like Persona 4 Golden and Gravity Rush remain cherished experiences that showcase what the Vita could do. The Vita's failure taught Sony important lessons about the handheld market and marked the end of its portable ambitions. Yet its cult following ensures that it will always be remembered as an underrated gem. PlayStation Classic, a misstep in nostalgia. In 2018, Sony attempted to capitalize on retro nostalgia with the PlayStation Classic, a miniature version of the original console preloaded with games. Unlike Nintendo's NES and SNES classics, however, the PlayStation Classic was poorly received. The selection of games was underwhelming, emulation quality was inconsistent, and the price point felt unjustified. Instead of celebrating the PlayStation's legacy, the Classic highlighted how important curation and execution are when dealing with nostalgia. While not impactful in a positive sense, it still stands as a reminder that even giants like Sony can stumble when failing to meet fan expectations.